All right, everybody, we are here with War 2 Map at a Glance, Season 32. As a reminder, thank your officers for all the work they put in, and this is an abstract planning. It's not an actual planning war. So first thing we're going to do is take a look at bans. In this war, we've got Corvus, Ghost, and Quake out. So Corvus, the new one from Tigra, last war, Ghost, and Quake again banned. The Corvus makes sense considering most of the unstoppable armor defenders are food for him. So first here, Black Panther as the boss, thinking Sorcerer Supreme and Tigra as your top options, maybe even brute forcing it with Hercules and the Black Panther synergy so that your special attacks are unblockable if you can ramp him. So those would be my first two go-tos. Mangog here, S99 with Anti-Venom, obviously. Mr. Fantastic and Mr. Negative, even Magic. And then Gulk here, I'd take advantage of Apocalypse and the Disorient. You could probably get away with Magneto here as well, spamming SP1s, or even Shang-Chi, getting that long slow up and using the stun Wushu. Nimrod over here, Nebula will shut down this node and Nimrod entirely, so that would be my first go-to, and then maybe Human Torch with the Nova Flame, sticking to medium light, since all of Nimrod's basic attacks are energy-based, and just letting him melt. Hulkbuster over here, probably Claire is my first option, maybe Magneto, maybe even Tigra. This one could get a tad bit tricky. I would suggest if you do use Claire to change curses while buff immunity is up. Super Scroll here, Tigra and Claire are probably my top two. Probably Mephisto after that, depending on his boost damage souls situation. But this one could be tricky for a lot of players. Fury here, you can probably get away with CMM, Kingpin, or even if you have a Kitty Pride available. I would not recommend having Tigra on the team with Kitty. And then Long Shot here, really easy fight with Human Torch. Don't even need the pre-fight. If you do, great. Ends even faster. Section 2 here, Captain Falcon. I would actually suggest using a Horseman Cable. You're going to want someone who does a lot of damage without having to throw special attacks. And Archangel isn't an option because his armor ups will eventually prevent bleed and poison. So Cable is probably the standout here. Thing could probably work since he has unblockable special attacks, so that's another option against Captain Falcon's auto block on special attacks. So maybe even Hercules with Black Panther, but you wouldn't get beyond SP1. Path 1 here, nothing special about Tigra. Human Torch, you can use Doom, you can use Warlock, and then use Warlock or Omega Red for Killmonger there. Path 2, Apocalypse the whole way down. Just know that MODOK's a little dicey. You could use Magneto for MODOK. And then Path 3 out here, I would use Nebula for Colossus, as you saw in my last video. And then Evade counter for spam, so Venom, Falcon, Shang-Chi, Fury. There are a lot of options for him there. And then taking a look at the EMP node before this section, my go-to would probably be S99 since the node is pretty negligible outside of Bubble Shield. Options after that, probably Archangel with an Odin pre-fight, or Cable with an Odin pre-fight and just melting her to death. And you have the pre-fight for the shock resistance. Rhino here, probably Mole Man, then probably Kingpin. It's going to be tough with anyone who actually places slow for this fight. So you're going to just want to have someone big and play around the unstoppable. Path 4 here, Poison Immune for Immortal Abomination, so like a Warlock. And then for Dragon Man over there, you could use Doom, you could use Claire. You could use Mr. Negative, you could use S99, a lot of options. Path 5, I would actually recommend taking after the boss is down because Civil Warrior is going to be a pain there without being able to place slow. Tigra is probably your best bet without the global down, but Mole Man there, you could just easily play Apocalypse and play around the global and the unstoppable, which means you could probably use Bishop or Storm Pyramid X. And then path 6 here, Annihilus, not really too much of a problem. You could use Shang-Chi, you could use Magneto, have a white Magneto pre-fight for when you can stun, and then a Nimrod for Sauron there. Probably War Machine would work for Sauron as well. You just have to time that SP1 before he throws a special attack. Probably just his SP1, since you can dodge. Well, you can actually dodge all of his special attacks, so just look out for the unblockable. And then Iceman here on Footloose before this section. I would probably use Claire, maybe even Sorcerer Supreme, since you can get a slow up. And then maybe Doom or Warlock and just play around the Unstoppable. He doesn't have his own armor up outside of the ice armor, so just being mindful of that. Mojo here, S99, and Mr. Negative are going to be top go-tos. You could probably even parry heavy it down with Archangel. Path 7 here, Magneto is really the only option I can think of for Penny. And then maybe Terax, but that's kind of a risk. And then Kitty Pryde, I mean, use Silver Centurion or G99 or Guardian. Or if you want, you can just nuke her down with Apocalypse. Just have Cable for the extra prowess. Path 8 here, Claire, Sorcerer Supreme, any other slow option with multiple buffs. You can use an Odin pre-fight to give you the advantage over Red Skull. And then path 9 out here, Omega Red, and then Ultron or not War Machine, Ultron for Bishop there, or you can use Cosmic Ghost Rider for the whole thing and just have a White Magneto pre-fight for Korg. And then Sasquatch here before this section. You can go ahead and throw an Apocalypse here again. That way you don't have to worry about the Disorient and just max boost Suicides. And have mutant boosts, and you're just gonna PS1, build the Disorient, and then go to town. Weapon X here, Warlock or Nimrod are gonna be good options. I'm sure Archangel can pull it off when he's out of Berserk with just a parry heavy, but go ahead and have a White Magneto pre-fight. So this isn't too problematic of a node for a Weapon X fight. And then Power Snack here, Sorcerer Supreme is the first thing that comes to mind. You're going to want someone with slow that doesn't have a lot of buffs. So, you know, She-Hulk will probably work, and maybe Mr. Negative, but you'd have to pay close attention to both timers, the global and his symbiote buff. Man Thing here, I've seen a video of Mr. Negative working out here, so Mr. Negative could work. Omega Red, Rolk, just know that if you do try and use an Odin pre-fight, it's either going to get nullified, or even with Mr. Negative, it's going to get consumed as light energy. So this one's a pretty tough placement. I'm pretty sure Quake can take it, so good thing Quake is banned for this war. Path 1, S99, Mr. Negative can get kind of dicey for that Doom. And then Magneto or Claire, or even Doom for Nova there. Path 2, you've got Mole Man, you've got Fury, you've got Shang-Chi for Void there, and then Juggernaut. You can either have a slow option, so using someone like Sorcerer, or you could have Claire and use the buff immunity. And then path 3 here, I'd probably go with not a slow option that's shock immune, but there aren't too many of those. For Angela, I'd probably just stick with Claire, and then Warlock or Nimrod for that Domino there. There's nothing special, just don't repeat special attacks against that Domino. Moving on, 4 through 6. Thing here on path 4, you can use Mole Man, you can use Shang-Chi. You can probably even get away with Fury. Path 5 there, Human Torch is going to be your easiest for Maul. And then Apocalypse or any mutant, or pretty much any option for Kraven, and just have a White Magneto pre-fight since it is heavy hitter. And then path 6, I mean, you could get a Corvus charge there if you want to risk it. You can use Fury, you can go with Apocalypse, you can go with Archangel, plenty of options for that Hit Monkey. Path 7 here, You know, you could probably risk Doom against Apocalypse, or you could go Cosmic Ghost Rider, or even Nimrod. Just a little interesting with kinetic transference. Probably Penny works really well there. And then Kingpin, probably use a Havoc or an Apocalypse, or even a Storm, Pyramid X. And then path 8 there, Venom Pool, Cosmic Ghost Riders, plenty of options for Warlock there. And then path 9 out here. Tough. You could push through with Rulk and then use Warlock for Havoc, or you could use Kitty and then use Warlock for Havoc, or even Colossus or Havoc for Havoc. But that's the end of that map. I will catch you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit subscribe, like, follow, and share, and I will catch you guys at the War Attack video.